this, and we were kids then.
Yeah.
But we got some good stuff. We shot on the train when we weren't supposed to.
That was cool.
That was cool.
We did that.
Yeah, we shot on the train, and we were just gonna do the camera, but then we got a little bit bold. We took out, our boom, and then someone whipped out a light panel. So we were,
Yeah.
and we see these two cops, walking down the train to us. They're just like striding towards us. We're like, oh shit. We're like, hey. Oh, by the way, I see this one officer's name is Officer Sass.
Ooh.
Officer Sass.
Ooh.
And he goes, I kid you not, he says verbatim, he goes, yeah, you can't be doing that because of terrorism and shit.
Yeah.
I guess you can't be holding big equipment because of terrorism and shit. So we're like, oh, sorry, Officer Sass. So we get off and we get on another train going the opposite direction, and we just did it again.
Just did it again.
It was fun. But yeah, when Pat was on our set, I mean, he was a production assistant, but in real life he does much more than that, and you can tell that he's very good, very responsible, very hardworking, just really an asset. Oh, no, true, an asset to our set, and that's when I was like, okay, you're real now.
You're real because you did something.
You're a real boy. This
Yeah.
is like a true Pinocchio story.
Yeah, no, legit. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. It's always cool, like when you get out here and you do work, there's usually like two realms you either fall in. You either do films or scripted TV. That's like the same group. Or you'll do everything else, which can range from like fucking music videos, commercials to reality TV, which is cool. But either one's cool. They both have their pluses and minuses. But like, luckily, some people get to jump back and forth. And I've talked about this before, but I've been lucky enough to do both.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because not a lot of people do that. They have their circles and they stick with those circles.
Mm-hmm.
But I say fuck a circle. So
Fuck a circle.
You do say that.
I see a circle, and then I fuck it.
I do.
Yeah.
That is literally, yes.
And that's how babies are made.
Mm-hmm. If you didn't know.
Good thing you guys have a woman on your show
It's
today.
true,
I'm
it's
teaching you
true.
a lot.
That's why we got that. That's why we got that. What is it? R next to our podcast saying it's
Alright.
it's bad.
Ooh,
Yeah.
it's bad.
Restricted. It
It
is.
is.
It's bad.
But
That's what.
It's
slogan.
bad.
yeah, it's cool. So
It
like jumping back and forth, like this thing I just got off of. I had to leave her side of the bed to work on this other thing.
Boo.
I know it's a boo, and people were bummed on me for a second, but it was. I had to.
If you're making 300 a day, you're gonna have
yeah,
Do it.
It was not even a thing. It was like.
What project
gotta
was it?
do it. Well, it's actually, you might be interested in this. So it was a LGBT community Q&A with these like YouTube people. I'm probably breaking NDAs right now, but it's all good. I'm not gonna say anything.
Well, you
But
can
that's
be vague,
basically
you can
what
be
it
vague
was.
about it,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was like LGBT community, and it was crazy. Like we were filming with, I don't know if it's proper to say, but with drag queens and trans people and both sides of the gay community, guy and girl, and it was just like, it was nuts. I didn't know how many different kinds of lesbians there are.
Oh yeah.
At all.
You just told me there's like 10 different types of lesbians.
Yeah, this chick that was on there was telling us all about like, oh yeah, there's this kind, there's 100-footer. I didn't know what that is.
What's
You guys
that?
know what
I
100-footer
don't know what that is.
100-footer is a lesbian you can see from 100 feet away. So I was like, all right, cool. And there's a lipstick, chapstick. There's all sorts of fucking lip gloss. There's like all sorts.
Guys, I have my chapstick right here. I'm gonna put it on.
Oh, you better go full
Lesbian.
blast.
I know.
Well, you know what I think about.
That's weird.
You know what I think about sexuality? It's like, yeah, there's probably 10 kinds of lesbians. There's probably a bunch more because
Yeah.
I think, we as humans, we try to take things and we try to put it in a perfect little box with a little bow on top and we want to define it and be like, this is what it is. But there's so many different shades of gray and so many different shades of gay or lesbian or bisexual or whatever.
Yeah.
And we try to define it, but it's just like, I think it's almost indefinable, really, because, I mean, I won't get into it, but like, I don't know how to define my sexuality.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
And I mean, I think that, I don't want to say too much about your thing, but like her side of the bed tests a little bit of those theories,
Yeah.
But it was cool. Like, I'm going back to all of that about the movie is like, it's cool to be able to jump back and forth, stuff like fun projects that the homies are doing, and then like go into stuff that you need to pay the bills.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I mean, just like you were saying about you guys ran out of funding, you obviously had a job, you had to pay for it.
Yeah.
So you do something you want to do, and then you do something you have to.
Exactly. I wish they would call me back into work. That's why I'm here today. It's because they didn't call me into work.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
But I work in commercials
Yeah.
for my day job.
Yeah.
And I'm making budgets and I'm crunching numbers and I'm doing research, and it's not creative, but it's interesting, and it's in the industry, and I'm learning a lot. But
Yeah, so that actually goes to our next topic. We want to talk about women in film.
ooh.
So, first off, have you seen, I mean, obviously we hear a lot about discrimination and stuff like that with actresses and stuff like that. Have you seen or experienced discrimination being a woman and working in this industry?
So far, nothing overt. I mean, that's happened to me, like, you know, you can't have this job because you're a woman. But I mean, the production company I work at, we have 15 directors and they're all male.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's stuff like that, you know. And I was last year I went with Drew to this festival where his short film In won Best in Show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you know you go and 10 people come up to win awards, and one of them is a female. It's stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So nothing really overt. It's kind of like attitudes. I was talking to one of the directors at my work, and he has no problem talking to all the ladies who work at the front desk and flirting with them and staring at their tits. But then my boss was like, "Oh yeah, Bryn's working on a film," and he like wouldn't even look me in the eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's and that's the thing. Girls deal with it. Women deal with it all the time, and it's never that obvious. So it could be really easy to miss if you're not experiencing it.
Mhm.
You know, and it's just kind
Sure.
of subtle attitudes, because someone would have to be a real dick to be like, "You're a woman, I'm not going to hire you for this," but they just like won't hire you, you know, or
Yeah.
they won't pick your project or whatever. And so stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to call anybody out, but when we've worked together before, I know you've come to me at times and just felt like they were patronizing you, but like a male figure that was less than the director, under the line of the director, which you were at the time. You felt that they kind of would like try and tell you how to do your job.
Oh really? Who? Wait, whisper in my ear.
And
Oh yeah. Okay. There you go. It's I do find that actually not super often, but with male actors. As a female director, sometimes they don't want to listen, or they interject and they give their opinions, like, well, we could just do this or just do this, and he kind of steps in and says
Yeah.
something that the director would say, which I don't think that they would do
if
if it was a male director.
yeah,
This is true.
I feel that way also with like almost an age discrimination too. Like if you are working with an actor who is older than you, like I have,
Yeah.
they tend to feel like they need to tell you how to do your job. Like I did a music video, and I'm not going to say who it was, but it was a pretty famous actor, and he was basically kind of directing, you know, whatever. But he was very respectful of me or whatever. But he knew more than I did. And sometimes you have to find that balance, you know.
Mhm.
Like I want to accept your feedback because I'm working with you, but also I want you to trust me. And it's hard because it's almost like an insecurity. Like I felt insecure because I was directing somebody who was, one, more famous than me, two, older than me, and has been in this industry.
And had more experience.
Yeah, and more experience in the industry. So it's just like, but this is my time. This is me. This is my job. I mean, I felt that way on a few jobs where it's just like, okay, let me do my job. Don't tell me how to do it. I trust me. There was a reason why I was hired.
Yeah.
There was a reason why someone put me in charge of this. You know?
It's definitely similar, and at that point, you know, that's happened to me with a couple male actors, and it's because they think that for some reason that they would do a better job than you. If it's because you're female, if it's because they're older and more experienced, if it's because they're a dick, who knows? But at that point, you kind of have to set your ego aside. Being a director, it's not about ego at all. Whenever I direct a project, it's never about me. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with the project and whatever best for the project. So if actor wants to step over me and kind of step in and say things that a director would say, but I still get the performance out of him that I want, then I'm gonna let it slide and I'm not gonna say anything, because although it does bug me a little bit, it's not about me. It does, you know, and that would just be taking away from what we need to do. And it's funny because I've never ever experienced that with female actors, and on every set that I've ever been on, I've had a female actor take me aside and go, I want to work with you again. I love you as a director. You are an actor's director. I feel so comfortable with you. And I think this is, you know, just a symptom of, you know, this low key kind of sexism that's just in our society. It's just there, and it's like I said, if you can blink and you'll miss it. And as a guy, you won't notice it because you could be directing and that guy wouldn't say the same thing to you that he did to me. He thinks that he can do it better, and it's just kind of something as a female filmmaker that you have to decide how you want to deal with that. I choose to swallow it if it's something like that. If something big, if someone's disrespecting me and being a dick, I might say something. But if it's, you know, if I'm gonna get the performance out of them, that's the main thing. Let's roll with it. It's not about me. So,
I mean, there's so much more. Obviously, this is a whole. I mean, this topic, we can talk about this for an hour.
It's just scratching the surface.
It's really scratching the surface because there's when Jennifer Lawrence came out and said, you know, I didn't get paid as much as my co-stars and the movie she did with Bradley Cooper and all that stuff.
Yeah. Or the other thing with what's her name that plays Scully in X-Files.
Oh yeah.
Got offered half of what what's his name did.
Wow.
Really?
So,
like, it's things like that seems strange.
That's
like
fucked.
why? I mean,
it's the same job.
Yeah,
like,
it's the same exact job. Maybe even more so because you know if like Jennifer Lawrence is definitely the #1 star, so like why wouldn't she get paid more? You know, I don't want to go into that because I don't really understand that situation.
I mean, there's good examples though of chicks in film, like just doing everything. Like, did you guys see there was a recent special? It was about what's his name, Manson's Lost Girls. Did you see that? The title was Manson's Lost Girls.
Oh no, I didn't see it.
It was actually on Lifetime. Lifetime's stepping their game up. All right.
I would direct a Lifetime movie. I'm into that.
Dude, I'm not even playing. Like, me and the wife watched this shit the other night, and it was Charles Manson. It's based on him and the crazy ass cult that he had, you know, really close to here actually, which is nuts. Yeah. But anyway, it was about the girls that he basically brainwashed. Yeah. So it was like 4 of them, 4 main ones. One of them is kind of telling the story, but a woman directed it. And to direct, the performance that she got out of the dude that played Charles Manson is nuts. Like, nuts. So you know how people were surprised about the kid that played the drug addict in Fear the Walking Dead, right? Mm-hmm. People were psyched on that guy. He's getting roles all over the place now.
He's good. I like that kid.
So if this guy doesn't get just everything after this, it's going to be completely surprising. Yeah. I'm dead serious. This dude is creepy as fuck. Like, I was like, oh hell no. I don't even meet this guy.
I want to check it out. I have a weird obsession with Charles Manson. Do you know, Drew played me a song that he would compose music.
Did you know that he recorded with one of the Beach Boys?
I didn't know that.
He was trying to be a musician.
I think
I know that.
Dennis Wilson. No,
yes.
I think yeah, because they
love the Beach Boys. You in it?
Yeah, I in it.
His best song, "Look at Your Game, Girl."
It's so good.
So good.
It's so good.
It's weird because some of the Beach Boys are in this movie, not the real Beach Boys, of course. But
okay, I want to check it out. Good on you, Lifetime. I will be checking this out.
Yeah, good on Lifetime, and they're bringing out like more shit. Like they're trying to be like, what is it? Who does Walking Dead?
AMC.
AMC. Yeah, they're trying to be like that. You know, AMC was bullshit until
Mad Men and stuff. Yeah,
a bunch of shit in there.
So I'm saying like I think there's people that are up and coming. I mean, and just haven't gotten that publicity that they need.
Oh, everybody's got to start somewhere.
That's what I'm saying though. Is like there's good women in film. Like there's really talented people.
It's true. It's been a a boys club for so long, and it still is, but this is one of the reasons why I love the internet, because now's a really great time for women. You know, we've come a long way. I mean, this wasn't so long ago that we couldn't vote. You know what I mean? And it wasn't so long ago that women had to get married at a young age because they wanted to get out of their house. You know what I mean? So that they could be a wife to someone. And so it's getting better. It's, you know, just like the civil rights movement wasn't that long ago. It's getting better. It really is. It's nowhere where it needs to be, but it's getting better. And I love the internet because there's a community of women. You can talk to women from all over the world and share similar experiences and garner strength from that and know that you're not alone in your experiences. Like, hey, do you deal with this fucked up weird sexism shit every day? Yeah, me too. Oh, that sucks. And people were afraid to speak out before because you feel like you're alone. And now you have this huge community that you never had before, and I love that. I think it's great.
Good. That's a good quote.
That's dope, yo.
It's your girl.
It's your girl. By the way, just women in film. One more thing. Jill Soloway is amazing, and I love her, and she's the best. She does Transparent. Writer, director, cool. Creator. She's incredibly talented. I love what she has to say, and she had this really great article. I forget where the interview was, but she talks about women directors. It's like, how did men convince us that this wasn't our thing? It's dolls and feelings. You know what I mean? When you're a little girl, you're playing with dolls and like and emotions and it is. It's like I've been directing shows since I was born. So, by the way, I directed my first play when I was 8 years old. I'm just saying.
Damn. Speaking of when you were younger, right into our next topic.
Yeah. Speaking of being a youngin.
The 90210.
This actually connects to our audience a little bit.
Does it?
Because you probably don't know this. So, you went to Beverly Hills High.
I did.
Right? The 90210.
I did.
As they say.
Yes.
Beverly Hills High is quite possibly one of the most famous skate spots in the world.
It's good for skating.
Oh, I know. You're not telling me.
Oh, he knows. He's seen every skate video.
I can tell you who did the tricks,
knows.
where they did them, what year it was.
Why don't you write it down?
He's a skater. He's a skatepedia.
Mm-hmm.
He's a skatepedia.
Anyways, so there is a set of handrails and stairs